Well, it's curtains down on the fifth phase of polling, where 49 Lok Sabha constituencies have polled. And the latest figures in terms of voter turnout has just come in, and breaking that news now on India Today. The Lok Sabha fifth phase of voting, overall polling percentage till about 5 p.m. was 56.68%. The highest voter turnout in Bengal stood at 73% so far. Lowest voter turnout recorded in Maharashtra at 48.66%. 54.21% turnout in Jammu and Kashmir. All of this is till 5 p.m. We're going to get in more data at what it stood at 6 p.m. You could add a few percentages more, but way lesser than what it was the last time around. Uttar Pradesh, important to note, has seen a polling percentage of 55.80% where voter turnout is concerned. Lots of ways to interpret it. One would suggest to, deal it, look at the figures with a tad bit of caution, because a low voting percentage, as has been analyzed multiple times from the first phase, means really nothing on whose advantage it works for. So best to look at it like that. But yes, the fifth phase, at least till 5 p.m., the voter turnout is rather low, quite a few notches below of what it was in 2019. But you can add a few percentages more to it. One of the main reasons is that there's a red alert in most of the northern states of Uttar Pradesh and the other states as well, where a heat wave sort of alert is there. Is it the heat that is keeping people away? Is it just indifference where vote is concerned? But let's quickly cut across. Joining me right now is my colleague Maushmi, who's joining us from Rai Bareli, and Pooja Shali from Lucknow. Maushmi, what's the latest? It was an interesting day today in Amethi and Rai Bareli, both Rahul Gandhi going booth to booth to make sure that the voting was taking place and there were no hindrances. What's the latest that you've picked up?
Very interesting, Preeti. You exercised a lot of caution in decoding the voting percentage, and perhaps I would exercise the same amount of caution. But, 3-4 reasons that I could quickly count on my fingers. One, it's extremely hot, Second is the voting speed is very slow. I saw in Rai Bareli, women were sitting on the bench and had to wait for quite a long while before they had their turn. So the voting speed is very slow. Thirdly, there is a bit of wariness in voters as far as that excitement is not there as far as, going to the booth. We can say that not there, not really, but is a lot lesser than 2019. And fourthly, either sides, it's either the BJP voters or the opposition voters not finding enough reason to go to that polling booth. So all these reasons prevailing or not prevailing. Rahul Gandhi, we saw, yes, that was one of the pictures of the day, going from booth to booth. He visited almost all the Vidhan Sabha constituencies. And the two words that I could gather from his entire this errand in his constituency, where he's contesting as a candidate, is that dhamka rahe hain. That's the catch line that I could catch from the entire thing. He didn't give a soundbite, but just put the voters forward who were trying to tell the media that there's a lot of threatening that's happening. So perhaps that defines it all. Rahul Gandhi knows that there was a need to be there, be present on the ground, and say that I stand with the voters of Rai Bareli, or more so I stand with the Congress workers who are braving all the odds and the onslaught, because it's not been in the past that I've seen Rahul Gandhi go booth by booth. So interesting day today, and it ended with this ink mark on my finger, Preeti, because I am in my village and I managed to exercise my franchise.
Well, that's, that's good, and that's what all of us should do, exercise our franchise, especially where there seems to be, at least on the ground, a lack of enthusiasm now. However, one chooses to interpret it, but you can see that on ground. And what was, of course, in Uttar Pradesh painfully slow was the voting process, where a lot of voters in the sweltering heat of 47 degrees Celsius had to wait for a very long time to cast their vote. Something that maybe the EC would need to pick up and hasten the process of voting, and people don't really have to wait for hours standing in line. But from Rai Bareli, where Moshmi is reporting and flaunting her inked finger, let's cut across to Samarth, my colleague joining us from Amethi. Samarth, it's interesting because these two have become, the high-profile battles in the fifth phase, Rai Bareli and Amethi. Rahul Gandhi going booth to booth, trying to figure out whether, at least his voters are able to cast their vote without any trouble. We saw KL Sharma do the same in Amethi.
Well, exactly, Preeti. This is exercise being done by the India Alliance leaders. We saw that happening in Kannauj with Akhilesh Yadav going boot to boot, and we saw that with Rahul Gandhi doing the same thing in Rai Bareli. And obviously, Kishori Lal Sharma, who's the man Friday for Sonia Gandhi, has been visiting the booths, and not just KL Sharma, also Smriti Irani. We saw after giving bite to the media persons right there, she began her journey to the various booths of Amethi, and the same happened with KL Sharma, who left his house around 6:30 a.m. when he spoke to India Today TV, and later he went to booth till 6 p.m. till the time the polling is stopped. So it's going to be a massive contest, not just in Rai Bareli but also in Amethi, because KL Sharma is somebody who has worked on the ground for the Congress party. He has been with the Gandhi family for more than 40 years and a close aide of Sonia Gandhi, and that's why his presence right there makes some impact. And also, it is also being said on the ground in Amethi that this election is not Smriti Irani versus KL Sharma. It is more of Smriti Irani versus Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, and that's why this election becomes interesting. And Smriti Irani herself, in a way, feels that the Gandhi family has put in all efforts on the ground in Amethi to win this particular election, beat the face is KL Sharma. But the entire Gandhi family has been there. Bhupesh Baghel from the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi came in, Sonia Gandhi came in, so everyone came in. So that's why it's very important for the Gandhi family and Smriti Irani as well. Back to you.
Right. Well, you're right there, because, both these constituencies will be keenly watched. KL Sharma, who practically has managed these two seats for the Gandhis for decades now. Someone, who's come in and looked at these seats very closely. He's come in from Punjab, actually, in 1983, in Amethi to manage the seats for the Gandhis, and has stayed put ever since. But interesting, will be to see how the seat of Amethi pans out, and even Rai Bareli, where Rahul Gandhi faces off with Dinesh Pratap Singh. Let's cut across now to Lucknow, where many suggest is a safe seat for the Bharatiya Janata Party. My colleague Pooja joining us from there. And you have Rajnath Singh, the defense minister, looking for his fourth term. Pooja, what does it look like?
Well, that's true. And, Uttar Pradesh may be one of the most popular states, but the voter turnout has definitely not been inspirational this election season. In fact, coming to Uttar Pradesh, specifically Lucknow city, the capital city, has recorded one of the lowest turnouts. Even Amethi and Rai Bareli appear to have surpassed it. And that's perhaps reflective of, call it apathy, or call it expectedly, if they feel that whether it's Modi factor, double engine Sarkar, or that Rajnath Singh is likely to have a sweep. But even then, there is going to be a margin. What kind of margin can he have against the Samajwadi Party and the BSP candidates, Ravidas Mehrotra and Sarwar Malik? That will also be very crucial. But from what I gathered here on the ground, it does appear that Rajnath Singh may have a stronghold, but sadly, it's whether it's the heat or the apathy, the voter turnout has been at low. But Lucknow, nevertheless, remember, has shown the pattern in many ways. From Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, who's represented the constituency, Jawaharlal Nehru's sister, to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, to Rajnath Singh, perhaps says a lot about the changing times as well.
Well, you're right there, Pooja. And, at least on ground, when you're reporting from Uttar Pradesh, most people will tell you there are two seats which are safe in Uttar Pradesh for the BJP. One is Banaras, Varanasi, and the other one, where my colleague Pooja is standing, Lucknow. But let's see how that pans out. Abysmal voting where Lucknow is concerned, not too good in other parts of UP as well. Shades lesser, percentages lesser, and we're going to get you the exact percentage of what the voting turnout is at about 6 o'clock. What we are giving you right now, of course, is how it panned out till 5 p.m. So you can add a couple of percentages, like maybe a 2-3% more, but really it's not going to notch up to an extent to match up on what 2019 was. And similarly, Mumbai, the 6 seats of Mumbai, Vidya, have voted abysmally, less than 50%. Voting turnout.
In fact, that's the worst. That less than 50% voter turnout is extremely, upsetting for many. We had seen that the Maha Vikas Aghadi leaders like Aditya Thackeray actually got down on the ground asking the voters to come out and vote because remember, especially his own area from where he himself is an elected member of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, there was a dismal, extremely dismal voter turnout. Even at 11 o'clock, there was just 8% voting that had happened in his constituency of Worli. And that's probably also the reason why we did see a lot of people asking continuously, in fact, not just the celebrities, but even politicians, the voter, the candidates, kept asking the people in Mumbai to come out and vote. However, in spite of their best of their efforts, only for 48 point some percentage of people have really come out of the voter list, have really come out and voted. The voter turnout, especially in the constituency that belongs to Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's son, Shrikant Shinde, is extremely dismal. If you look at it, Kalyan has got only 41.70% of voting, while, constituencies like Mumbai South, which has always seen the worst of it, has still managed more than that, which is about 44.26%, 44.63%. So the percentage does not really look very, especially for the opposition, it really does not seem very encouraging. And of course, everyone will obviously say that they'll wait for the 4th of June to really see the results. But knowing the fact that, there has not been a huge turnout, political leaders aren't really keeping much hope.
Well, you're right there, Vidya. Abysmal where Mumbai is concerned. Vidya, if you have to compare it to, say, 2019, how does it match up? Because less than 50% is troubling, but we don't know, it's troubling for who? The Maha Yuti or the Maha Vikas Aghadi? But having said that, if you match the percentage to 2019, of course, it's going to rise by a notch or two, keeping in mind the figures are only till 5 p.m. How does it stack down if you compare it to what went down in 2019?
Most people, especially like from where I had spoken to quite a lot, who said that, in our area, we know who will win. Or, for example, as I was saying earlier, that most of the people are actually extremely critical of the fact that they really don't know who to vote for. If you look at both the sides, there is no ideological differences because it's a khichdi that has happened amongst all of them. I mean, you have Maha Vikas Aghadi with a combination of Congress, NCP and the Shiv Sena. And on the other hand, there is BJP, Shiv Sena and the NCP of the Maha Yuti. So, there is no ideological reasons for anyone to really look forward and vote is what something a lot of people had spoken about while the campaigns were still going on. So, even if they knew that who they really wanted to vote for, they probably have not really taken the effort of coming out.
Well, there is no enthusiasm where the voter is concerned, and that is something that at least most of us on ground have noted increasingly as a phase by phase has gone through in this Lok Sabha elections. I want to cut across right now to West Bengal. West Bengal always votes more than the rest of India. Even in this phase, at about 73%, is the voting percentage of the seats that went to polls in West Bengal. Actually still about 6% less, Surya Agni, of what it was in 2019. But maybe you can add a percentage or two more because these figures are only till 5 p.m.
Well, absolutely. It's still 5 p.m. Preeti, and you know, we do expect that the figures will go up a bit high, and when the final poll figures come out, we will get we'll get a fair share of how much polling happened for the fifth phase that happened today. Preeti, very big names were in the line of fire today. Arjun Singh from Barakpur, Loket Chatterjee from Hooghly, Shantanu Thakur, who's a sitting minister in Modi 2.0 cabinet. He's also, he's also taking it on now from the seat of Bonga, which was, the epicenter of the entire CAA issue, the CAA movement. Now it has to be seen, as you mentioned, that it's fairly a decent amount of polling that has happened. Which way does this does the polling cater to? That is something that only the fourth can answer. One very important thing that we have witnessed in the past 4 phases and also today, barring a few scuffles here and there, thankfully, Preeti, the polls still now, they have been moderately very, very peaceful. And if we compare it to 2019 and the incidents of 2021, it's been very, it's a peaceful polling season as of now. And that's a very good thing to, look forward to, because generally when we speak of polling since 2019 in West Bengal, we have always had, we have brought up examples of violence and, bad scuffles and all. But thankfully, nothing of that sort has been witnessed in any of these phases that we have covered in the past fourth and including this one, the fifth one. 2 more to go, and we hope that, this trend at least continues along with the trend that more and more people come out and vote.
You are right. Well, you're right there. West Bengal way ahead than the rest of India in its 70s, while the rest of India, especially the Hindi heartland, struggling to even go beyond 55% where the fifth phase of polling is concerned. But Suryagni, asking you a quick question before I let you go. The election in West Bengal from the north is moving, south now. The next 2 phases is going to be a high-octane face-off, especially on seats which were the TMC stronghold. What can we expect?
High contest, despite having said that, politically, whenever we have spoken, we have always said, and we have polling results have always shown that the southern part of West Bengal has always been a very strong a stronghold of the Trinamool Congress. Now, whether or not that remains, whether or not the BJP is able to make a dent or not, or whether in reverse the Trinamool is able to make a dent in the areas where the BJP has been strong from 2019, is something that has to be seen. And the 3 seats that I'm talking about, that went into
remains
polling
to be
today,
seen, and we're going to keep a keen eye on all developments there. Suryagni, apologies for coming in, but that's all the time that we have for now. We gave out the polling percentage. West Bengal has done better than the rest of the country at 73.4%, but these are figures till about 5 p.m., so you can add a percentage or 2, or maybe 3 at best till about 6 p.m., when the polling would have closed. But abysmal figures coming in from Maharashtra. The 6 seats of Mumbai have polled less than 50%, and some of them even at 41% is what Kalyan has recorded, where Eknath Shindé's son is contesting from. Uttar Pradesh, Rai Bareli, Amethi have recorded about a 55 to 56%, so not looking good in terms of voting percentage. What does it mean? Well, we are not getting into conjecture or predicting anything right here.